Who wins if T-078 and T-501 actually fight? First, let's talk about raw power and destruction. T-078 has the more obvious edge here. It is basically a larger, upgraded Tyrant built on the T-103 model. This thing can crush a licker's head with one hand, and it can flip a multi-ton car without much effort. Once it enters its berserk state, its strength, speed, and reaction time all go up again. It even catches a fast incoming RPG by hand. On top of that, it can overturn a light armored vehicle that weighs several tons like it is nothing. But the second point is defense and survivability, and this is where T-501 starts to look harder to deal with. A missile explosion at close range still did not kill it on the spot, which says a lot about how much damage it can take. T-078 is powerful too, no doubt about that, but in the end, it was fully taken out by fighter jet cannon fire and missiles. Now, here comes the most important part: combat IQ. T-501 is not just a Tyrant that charges forward on pure instinct. It can follow orders, track targets with precision, and even pick up a missile and throw it back. That means it already shows much better judgment than a traditional Tyrant, especially when it comes to using its surroundings in battle. T-078, on the other hand, feels much more direct in combat. It charges, smashes, and overwhelms, but it does not really show the same level of precise hunting logic. So if these two Tyrants really went head-to-head, T-078 might win through sheer force. But if T-501 makes full use of combat skill and battlefield awareness, who do you think comes out on top?
If Wesker fought T-078 head-on, who would be the one left standing? In this episode of Monster Lab, we break it down from every major angle. First, speed. Even in its final form, T-078 is already absurdly fast. It can even catch a flying RPG with its bare hands. But no matter how fast it is, that speed is still not on Wesker's level. Wesker moves so fast that most people can barely even track him. He can finish suppressing an opponent before they even complete a move. At that point, almost any direct attack would struggle to land. Second, strength. Wesker may have speed far beyond normal humans, but when it comes to pure physical destruction, he is not in the same class as T-078. T-078 stands over 13 feet tall and weighs more than 2 tons. It can crush a licker's skull with one hand, and it can flip multi-ton vehicles without much effort. That kind of size and strength is already a disaster by itself. Third, intelligence. T-078 may be terrifyingly strong, but at its core, it is still a Tyrant. It has pressure, power, and enough lethality to overwhelm most targets, but it still does not have the combat mind that Wesker does. Wesker never charges in like a Tyrant. He stays calm, calculates, and controls the pace of the fight. He predicts your movements, reads your timing, and looks for openings before you even realize they are there. That is what makes him a predator operating on a completely different level. So if these two ever really fought, the final winner would still be Wesker. What do you think? Who would survive if Pyramid Head faced off against the Executioner with the giant axe? Pyramid Head is not just an ordinary monster. He is the embodiment of Alessa's pain, hatred, and sense of judgment. His massive blade measures nearly 6.5 feet in length. While the official weight isn't specified, it is likely between 90 and 110 pounds based on how it is used. The Executioner with the giant axe, on the other hand, is a virus-modified biomonster. He wields a solid cast-iron execution axe, estimated to weigh around 65 to 75 pounds. Although their weapons differ, their actual destructive power is not that different. The Executioner can smash through thick steel doors with a single strike, and when he throws the axe, he can even flip a car. Pyramid Head's blade is no weaker. It can easily pierce steel doors as well. This shows that in pure offensive power, they are on the same level. The real difference lies in defense. The Executioner can withstand ordinary gunfire, but he is still vulnerable to explosives or heavy weapons, which puts a clear limit on his durability. Pyramid Head is different. He can ignore bullets and survive multiple lethal attacks. This is because Pyramid Head is not a simple flesh and blood creature. He is a physical manifestation of Alessa and does not follow normal rules of death. Because of this, even the strongest Executioner would have a hard time defeating Pyramid Head. So who do you think would be the last one standing?
If a Tyrant had human-level intelligence, would it still be a monster? In Resident Evil 3, Umbrella developed an alpha-type parasite that could take control of a host's brain. After implanting it into a T-103 body, they created Nemesis. And what makes this creature truly terrifying is that it did not just inherit the raw traits of a tyrant. It also gained intelligence close to that of a human. It can read the situation, adjust its tactics, and even use heavy weapons with real skill. That is something an ordinary tyrant simply cannot do. In its first form, Nemesis moves incredibly fast. It can close the distance on a target almost instantly, and it can even sidestep incoming attacks. The restraining outfit on its body also gives it extra protection against heavy fire. At the same time, it can extend its tentacles for rapid movement and aggressive pursuit. And once it takes serious damage, Nemesis does not stop there. It keeps mutating. In its second form, it completely loses its human shape and turns into a four-legged beast. Its body grows even larger, and both its power and speed rise again. But that upgrade comes with a clear cost. It loses the human-like intelligence that made it so dangerous in the first place. By the final form, Nemesis is turned into a massive organic weapon. At that stage, it is almost completely resistant to standard weapons and explosions. In the end, the only thing that can truly bring it down is a specialized rail cannon built to destroy organic bioweapons. So what do you think? Is Nemesis really the strongest tyrant of them all? Who survives if Axeman fights the T-078 tyrant? In this episode of Monster Lab, we break it down through a direct, stat-based comparison. First, let's look at size. Axeman stands at about 10 feet tall and weighs around 800 pounds. That already makes him a very large, heavy-type creature. But next to the T-078, that size still comes up short. The T-078 stands close to 14 feet tall and weighs around 2 tons. So based on size and weight alone, the T-078 clearly has the edge. Next is defense. Axeman and the T-078 can both handle sustained fire from light weapons. But once heavy firepower enters the fight, the difference starts to show. In the film, Axeman's head is blown apart fairly easily by a coin-firing weapon. The T-078, on the other hand, can survive even close-range explosions. It even uses that damage to push into a stronger form. In that upgraded state, the T-078 gets a major boost across the board. Its strength, speed, and reactions all rise sharply. It can even catch a fast incoming RPG with its bare hand. And vehicles weighing several tons can still be overturned by its raw strength. Axeman, by comparison, relies much more on the giant axe in his hands. That weapon gives him real threat up close. But once the axe leaves his hands, a lot of that pressure disappears immediately. So looking at the full picture, if this fight really goes to the end, the one most likely to survive is the T-078. But what other creature do you think could actually go toe-to-toe with the T-078 tyrant?